children. My name is Miss Welcome and I will be carrying on today's lesson. Now, I would like to ask you a question, and I think a lot of you are familiar with this question. What are rules? How do we see rules in our lives? What do we conclude, or what would we think rules are as it applies to our lives? Rules are instructions that guide you. Very good, right? These are expectations, things that when you come to either school or home, your community, or any government institute or important place, you would expect to carry yourself a certain way, right? So, what would happen if we weren't to follow rules, or there were no rules there to guide us? What do you think a world would be like with no rules? How?
Confusion and chaos.
A lot of confusion and chaos. Confusion and chaos of what? Necessarily.
There will be no fairness, everyone will do whatever they want to do.
Everybody will do whatever they want to do. Very good. And we know we cannot live in a community or a world where everybody is making the decisions or everybody gets to do what they want to do. Because just like our colleague here would have said here, that would cause chaos and confusion. And it would make us, or we would become less respectful of each other. Because I may think that my opinion is more important than yours, and that will cause some friction there, and it may become physical violence when persons do not know how to channel their emotions properly, right? Are we in agreement here? So far? Okay. Now, so based upon what Sir said, I would like us to go a little bit deeper into our lesson by watching a video on what the world would be like, or a brief scenario on what it would be like without rules, right? So just give me a minute to put on this video. So class, I will play a video here, and afterwards you will tell me what you observed by watching this video. Very good, thank you. Now, it was a brief video, but I would like for one person, just by what you would have watched, to tell me what is it that you notice about this video. What exactly are you seeing? Could you tell me what you observed by watching the video?
There was a lot of chaos and confusion. People were fighting with one another.
Yes, there was a lot of chaos and confusion. And if you notice there, through that chaos and confusion, what exactly or which institution came to the forefront to help with that confusion and chaos? Who was wearing the black clothes? Very good, the police officer. So you see, in order to maintain order, the police officers would have to step in, right? So they will only be there if there's confusion and chaos. And it comes down to a lack of rules and order. That is why we have that confusion and chaos. I would further like to show you some pictures here, and you tell me what you think of them. Sorry, you're able to see? So here we have a picture of a traffic congestion. We're seeing a lot of fire here, a lot of backed up vehicles, accidents, and all of these things. We can say that this is total confusion going on here, right? There's no order in this picture. Moving along, what can we see someone doing here?
Littering.
Littering, right? And we know that littering is bad for the community. This would be against any laws or rules of any country, right? And here we have another picture here farther talking about the sorry, not talking, showing that littering, you have a woman living in this community as well, and she is bypassing all of these things, right? Because this is something it looks like, it seems like she's used to, this is a regular behavior in the community. But looking at all of these things, the videos, the pictures, would we say that this should be the natural way of living? No, this shouldn't be our natural way of living because it is a place of confusion. We cannot strive or dwell in confusion. And without rules and laws to govern us, this is how our way of life would be. Right? I have an activity for us to do. Miss, could you please sit at this table for me? And we have one of the Sir Provision, you'll try and rob Miss. And Sir, you'll be the police, and we'll catch Sir at the door and just bring him back to return. Ready for police, right? Yeah, I got it. I want fast. Miss, could you please sit at the table? Thank you. Provision, you'll just pick up something and make a dash. Sir, you are be standing at the door there, you just, there's many police making the rounds and so on community. So as soon as you turn, you happen to see him doing whatever, right? So you're dashing in the direction, right? Sir, you go ahead. And afterwards, we're going to say what we observed or what we learned or, what exactly were we doing here? What did we bring out of this scenario, right? You can help me for something, Okay, the police officer brings back the thief. With the item? Yes.
On the right.
Thank you very much. Now, children, we noticed there, did Covendra ask the shopkeeper for this box of crayon? No, he didn't. Did he purchase this box of crayon? No, the shopkeeper just saw him picking it up and running. Now, if we had followed the rule of what? Would that have been a problem for Covendra to go away with the crayons? What rule did he break there? Exactly, thou shalt not steal. I like our Sartaki biblical. Right? So thou shalt not steal. And stealing goes against your school rules, it goes against rules in your community, and it goes against rules within your nation. So all around stealing is bad, right? So we see if we don't follow rules, there are also penalties and consequences to these things, right? Now, I would like us, each one of you, I have some posters on the chalkboard there, and it speaks to school rules, national rules, and community rules. Now, with the list of what we have here, I would like you to pick up 3 rules each and paste them under the respective labels on the chalkboard. The first one here is for the school rules. Could you please do us the honors by placing that on the school rules? Miss, this one is the national one. Yes, thank you very much. And the last one is for community rules. Right? So, by us pasting these rules under their respective headings, we get a better and a clear idea of what kind of rules on the different levels within our community, our school, and the national laws or rules we should be observing or we should be sharing or maintaining, right? So these rules are better able to guide us, right? Thank you, children. Give yourselves a round of applause to that activity. You may have your seats, and I'm just going to read the rules here. So for school rules, we have regular attendance is mandatory unless excused for sickness or emergency. Follow directions given by teachers and staff. Uniform must be clean, neat, and properly worn. No altered styles or flashy accessories. Now these seem like likely school rules that we can follow, right? Yes. Without these, you think persons would come to school regularly? No. Wouldn't they wear what they want to wear to school? Exactly, right? Now, for our national laws, we have assault with intent to commit a felony can lead you to 10 years in prison. All drivers must be licensed to operate a motor vehicle. Employers must provide written terms of employment if employment is for a period longer than 1 month. Right? Now when you go and you work under the national laws of your country, these rules are here to protect. Right? Without these rules, there would be lawlessness, right? Now I'll read the last 2 categories or the last 2 columns of rules on the very heading. Could you do me a favor and read the last ones that would fall under the community rules to me? Are you seeing it clearly?
Yes, miss. Keep pets under control, no roaming pets. Keep your drink and public spaces clean. Clean up after using shared spaces.
Thank you very much, Kavindra. Now I apologize to those who the writing would have been small and we were not able to see clearly. Now these indeed are rules we would want to follow within our community, to make sure we live peacefully with our neighbors, and if the relevant authorities have to come around in terms of our democratic councils and so on that help us maintain our community. So once again, these rules are there to make sure that we maintain order and less chaos and confusion, and where nobody has to get in any conflict or confrontation with one another and escalate things to a point of no return. I want to say escalate things to a point of no return, just for me to get a clear understanding that we're on the same page. What do you think I mean? Riots, what else? Fights, murders. Persons when they're not being told a certain line, they tend to become uncontrollable, and this person would be like, I'm from bravado, I could beat you up, no, you could beat me up, and then they might want to include weapons, and we don't want that, right? So that is a world where we have no rules. We want to live a world with peace where we do have rules, right? So I have an activity for us where I would like us to make a poster, right? So I'm going to give you the material to make the poster, and I'm going to walk around you and observe while we make this poster based on the rules that we would have shared here, right? See that we have 3 labels here for our rules that we are now familiar with. I will ask each one of you to take a rule from each label, right? So we have the school rules, national rules, community rules. You're going to choose one of these rules, and you're just going to make a creative poster display for persons to notice this rule and be able to obey it, right? So when they see it, they'll be like, wow, I didn't know that was a rule that I had to obey, or I didn't know that this was a part of the school, national, or community rules, right? So could we do that in our posters here? Yes, we can, right? So you can go ahead and start. But we understand clearly how rules affect our lives, right? And without rules, what a world or life would be like, right? So put your hands up for me if you prefer life with rules or without rules. With rules, right? So we want a life with rules. So we will share with persons the importance of rules and what life would be like without rules, right? And we want to maintain the same order and respect to each other. So we should always practice using our school rules, nation rules, or community rules. So that would be our closing for our lesson today, right? Anybody has any questions they would like to ask? Or anything they would like to share while we're closing? But if not, thank you so very much well disciplined children and following the rules of the classroom and taking in the lesson. You may go, children. You're welcome.